We're going to give this a little time because we're having some software issues. What's up? What's up? What's up, ladies and gentlemen? We're having some software issues, so we're aiming to solve that right now. Get people back in the chat. Rob, what's up? What's up? What's up, you guys? I know. I had one of my team members set up the stream, and he set it up to my broadcast software, which led me to have some issues, but we're live. We figured it out. So I'm just going to fix the link on my story, and then we'll kind of go from there. Give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. How are you guys doing? Where are you calling in from? Where are you calling in from? We got 5 of you here right now. I know this is not my normal time I live stream, but I got my 5-day event tonight. So I'm going live at 6:30 with the community. Where are you guys calling in from? Where are you guys calling in from? What's up, Daniel? Jay? New Zealand? Let's go, bro. 1 sec. I'm going to be able to see the chat live on my phone in 1 moment. We're going to give time for people to come in and say, oh, I'm live. And we got to delete the other story. Hello, hello. Alex, what's up? Alex is on. He's ready to grind. He's going to be with me later tonight. We got Jay too. Yes, sir. Yeah, Jay's like, I'm going to take a nap before our call tonight. That's valid. So I'm deleting this story. And I'm going to pull the chat up here so I can see you guys. I know we're an hour and a half earlier than normal, but the grind don't stop. We got to show out for everyone. Got 17 of you here so far. Tell me where you're watching from. I want to know where you're watching from. Yeah, Alex, we got the actual whiteboard in action, not the iPad whiteboard. For the 17 of you here right now, where are you calling in from? I'm going to post a link in the chat right now. UK, let's go. So what I just pinned is an Ascension group chat. And it's for everyone that just wants like a daily reminder to stay aligned, right? If you want to be a part of a group chat where I send voice notes, messages, just helping you tap in, helping you stay in that elevated state, that's what that's going to be for. And I've got free meditations and workbooks in that chat right now if you join. We're going to give it a little longer, and we're going to give some time for people to get in, and then we'll just get straight to it. Today, we're going to be talking about how to use the 7 universal laws to think and grow rich. It's going to be a great one. It's going to be a great one. I'm going to pull up the sheet on my laptop right now. Actually, I'm just going to zoom in. Alex is like the people servant. Yes, sir. So what happens when you got a reason to show up besides for yourself? So we're going live at a different time. So we'll get into it. I got 20 of you guys here. I want to respect your time. And people are going to start rolling in as necessary, right? So to dive into it, we're going to be talking about the 7 universal laws and how they apply to thinking and growing rich, right? Now, I want to kind of define what I mean by think and grow rich, right? Some people want to manifest success. Some people want to manifest health. Some people want to manifest a relationship, right? But to think and grow rich, I want you to think of just as like planting seeds of abundance, right? What we think, we reap what we sow. So if we can change our thoughts, we can change our life. And when we can change our thoughts and our emotions and our lives begin to change, we're going to start to experience some magical things. So I want to highlight how we can do more of that through the 7 universal laws that govern our experience. But with the 22 of you here right now, if you guys are ready to just jump into it, if you just want to jump straight into it, drop a 1 in the chat for me so I know you're ready. I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you're ready to kind of kick this thing off. Daniel's ready. Alex is ready. Yup. Aaron's ready. Gabe's ready. Great. So the first law, one of the 7 universal laws of the Kabbalion, is going to be the principle of mentalism, right? Now, what is the principle of mentalism? The principle of mentalism is the idea that all forms of physical creation start in the mind, right? Everything starts in an immaterial place before it comes. Think about this whiteboard. This whiteboard started in someone's mind before it was created. So when it comes to deciding what we want to manifest for ourselves, right, it's going to start in our mind. So what we keep in our mind is actually it's the soil in which we plant the seeds of manifestation, in which we plant the seeds of creation. And if we're not careful about what we think, we're not careful about what we feel, then this law is going to dictate our life, and it's going to kind of create the experience we don't want to have if we don't become aware of the things holding us back. So I want you to realize that in the Kabbalion, it states that everything in existence arises from the universal mind. That's the Kabbalion. Now, what Napoleon Hill says is that thoughts shape a reality. Whatever you consistently dwell on, you begin to materialize. So if you're focused on all the negative things you don't want, then you're going to manifest more of that into your life, right? So how do we use this creative power, right? Because if the mind is the creative power, you guys, I'm running out of markers. We spend so much time on the whiteboard, I'm running out of markers. So how do we leverage the creative power, right? What is the creative power? The creative power is our ability to manifest. What you consistently think about, what you consistently feel, what you consistently desire is you planting seeds in the soil of creation. And when you plant those seeds, you're going to reap what you sow. So the first thing you need to do, practical use. I know someone just said, how do I manifest an internship? Right? The first thing you need to do is hold a clear vision. Without a clear vision, you're going to experience a lot of back and forth, right? You're going to start riding the energetic waves. If you're riding the energetic waves, you're going to have 1 foot in, 1 foot out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And we're not going to be able to actually move in the direction we want to, right? Now, the second thing we need to do is reprogram the subconscious. Now, how do we reprogram the subconscious? We reprogram the subconscious through repetition. Now, the traditional ways that people talk about in this space is, right, a gratitude journal, affirmations, but what are other ways we can reprogram the subconscious? Alex, if you're here, what's my one philosophy, right? I talk about the walking meditation. So one of the ways you can increase your level of repetition is to impact not only your thoughts, not only your emotions, right, through the affirmations and the gratitude journal, but we need to impact your choices, your behaviors, and your actions. Because your choices, behaviors, and actions is what manifests on the 3D plane, right? When Joe Dispenza talks about, hey, we meditate, we need to get this clear vision. That's the 5D world, right? The 5D world is when we tap into the quantum, we unlock the potential. Now we can visualize those things and we can feel them through gratitude and affirmation, but the one thing preventing you from continuously experiencing the life you want to is the lack of action, right? So the 3D world, we need to do choices, behaviors, and actions. We got choices, behavior, and we got action. Gabe says it always comes to the action. It really does. Because think about it. Action is a signal of wisdom. Davin says, me too, lack of action steps. But Davin, what'd you say in the community today? You started to do the thing and you overcame one of the things that was holding you back. So you made a choice, was change your behavior, was change your action. What's up, JC? I love how the people that are going to actually be on my call later are also in the live chat. That's awesome. Gabe says, I've been trying reprogramming 3 times a day, but it's a pain. Right? It's only hard if you think it's hard. It's a pain because you're resisting the transformation. That old version of you is resisting the things you know you need to do better. Cliff, I love what you just said. You said action builds momentum, right? The goal is to get that snowball rolling. When we get that snowball rolling, it goes downhill naturally. We enter the flow state. When you're living in alignment with your creative power and your clear vision, you're going with the energetic flow. You're going down the stream, right? Yeah, Gabe, it becomes easy the more consistently you do it. That's the momentum. That's the momentum Cliff's talking about. Yeah, it's crazy how powerful your words and speech are, right? It's the first form of manifestation. Think about it. Our words are so powerful because it's the first thing that comes out of the mental. And sometimes we have internal dialogue. Now, what's even more powerful is your emotions, because what emotions are memorized thoughts and experiences. So I want you to think of a single emotion and think about how many different ways you felt love, right? From a girlfriend, from a boyfriend, from a mother, from a father, from a brother, from a friend. You have so many different thoughts associated with so many different experiences. That's why emotions are so strong, right? Which is why it's so important to get into an elevated state, because the universe can't tell the difference between the energetics. Gabe, you said, over the past 3 to 4 months, I've noticed it changed my entire life. The key is consistency. Exactly, right? Consistency builds the momentum. That's the secret. Now, all right, we're getting ready to move on law 2. So if you're ready for law 2, I want you to drop a 2 in the chat for me. Drop a 2 in the chat for me if you are ready to move on to law 2 of the 7 universal principles. Now, I need to be conscious of my time tonight. We got about an hour. Exactly, Alex. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. All the power is in the now. That's what night 3 and 4 of the workshop are all going to be about. We're going to start to bring these things into the material world, bring them to life. So let's move on to law 2. Law 2, you guys, I've ran out of black markers, so we're going to be color for this live stream. I have 7 black expo markers and they're all cooked. 2, even the red's going out on me, is the law. Let me make sure I'm spelling this right. Of correspondence. This is a big fancy word. What does correspondence mean? How many of you guys have ever heard the universal principle, as above, so below? Alex said the chef running low on ingredients. Exactly. How many of you guys have heard of as above, so below? This is a super important concept to understand, because we spend so much time in our head. We spend so much time becoming a victim. And when we're a victim, we're focused on ourselves, right? We think our life is different than everything in this universe. We think we're living this special experience. So my life is way harder than yours. There's a reason I can't change. No, we all exist under the 7 universal laws. The 7 universal laws we're covering are governing to all things in the physical world. So, if we can learn to use these laws, then we can become objective, no longer subjective, right? Subjective is, I'm a victim, my life is different. That's the ego talking. If we become objective, we become an observer. Objective is just removing the emotion, right? Removing the judgment, removing the need to solve the problem. And when you can remove that, you can make the proper elevated decision. So correspondence means reality mirrors each other at different levels. All right? Exactly, Gabe. As above, so below is your inner world is going to be reflected in your outer world. Why is that? Yeah, we got as a man thinketh, so is he. Exactly. Your perception, how you choose to view a scenario, is the thing that impacts the reality you experience. One of the examples I use in my live workshop is what happens if you get in a fender bender. At the different levels of consciousness, there's a variety of different reactions. If you respond from a place of fear, fear can manifest as anger. Oh my God, you suck at driving. Like, I'm taking you to court. That's that person's internal world. His internal state of consciousness just manifested in that experience. But the person who's peaceful and harmonious is like, hey, dude, like, things happen. Fender benders happen every day. I actually needed to take my car into the shop. I needed to get the oil change. I needed new tires. So you actually just kind of forced me in that direction. Thank you for that. This manifests in multiple different dimensions, right? So the seeds you plant in the inner world are going to manifest in the outer world. So whoever said, oh, this is hard, right? I think that, Gabe, that might have been you, right? You're like, it's hard for me to reprogram. That's your internal state. So all the things you experience on the outer world are going to feel hard. They're going to feel tough. But if you start to be like, hey, like, yes, it may be challenging, but what I want lies on the other side of that, then you're going to be willing to walk through the outer experience to get to what you want. But that's because you change your mindset internally. Now, this is how it applies to the text we're talking about, right? So Napoleon Hill talks about that outer success is a byproduct of inner transformation. This goes back to the be, do, have concept, right? Alex, you were talking about that. Or Joe Dispenza talks about thinking, doing, and being. If you want to have a lot of things, you have to be a high-level person that does a lot of high-level things, that has a lot of high-level outputs. But if you want to have high-level things, a lot of success, a lot of wealth, but you're being the person that is in a lower state of consciousness and you're not doing anything, you're sitting on the couch, doom scrolling, just becoming a dopamine demon, the inner world doesn't match the outer world. But you don't need to judge yourself for doing that, right? Because if you judge yourself, that's the ego. Your ego keeps you in analysis paralysis. So if we slow down and we just be like, hey, I didn't have this information up until this point. Now with new information and new awareness, I can choose to act differently. And when you choose to act differently, you are signaling a new experience for yourself. And when you are signaling a new experience for yourself, you're changing the inner world, that's changing the outer world. And the more consistently you do that, you build the momentum, and reality and life starts to work in your favor the higher you climb, right? But this is why my program is called Ascension, because the deeper you go and the more aware you become of yourself and how you operate, the more transformation you'll be able to have. Think about it. All 32, 33, including me, we've all had different life experiences. So you guys may have experienced things that I haven't experienced, just like I've experienced things you haven't experienced. So if you go deep internally and look at your experiences and be like, how did those things that I used to think were the worst thing that ever happened to me, how did they become my gifts, right? Davin, I know you have some things you want to overcome. There's no need to judge yourself. What you actually need to do is just come to that objective state of perception and be like, hey, those things actually serve me, because now I'm in the Ascension 5-day workshop and I'm creating the change and I'm actually seeing the transformation. Exactly, Gabe. It is about the deeper introspection. That's the secret. So the two practical uses you can take from this law are going to be inner alignment, right? To grow rich, right? I said how to use the 7 universal laws to grow rich, think and grow rich. You need to cultivate the beliefs and emotions that match prosperity. Not what you think, right? What you think is subjective. There is a formula for success, and you just have to act in the same way all the people have done before you, which makes it objective. You guys actually can just cheat the system. Imagine you're just cheating on the homework and the test of life, because all these ultra successful people leave back information for us, right? So if you can align your inner frequency with the success you desire, you're going to see that transformation immediately. But you just have to stay consistent. That's the secret. Yes, Alex, the answer is in the things we avoid, right? We cast that version of ourselves away and we become unconscious to it. We become blind to the thing that has the roadmap to what we want. Because think about it. The things you avoid are the things holding you back, right? For me, it used to be smoking weed. I cast that away. I judged myself. But because I never truly faced it, it was always an anchor keeping me in a lower state. So my inner world was always at a lower frequency. But as soon as I let go of that and I said, hey, I'm going to be different this time, I freed up my energy in the inner world to shift it to a place and focus on actions that I wanted to partake in. You know how much I started getting done when I stopped smoking weed? Night and day, ladies and gentlemen. And that impacted my outer world because I shift the inner world. Exactly, Alex. We got to build the muscle. Build the muscle. So the next point is self-examination, right? So I'm going to write these down so you guys just have them. So the first thing we talked about, all right, the red marker's done too. I'm going to have to start a GoFundMe for Expo markers. I'm going to have to start a GoFundMe for Expo markers. A, inner alignment. Right? You have to align your inner world to the outer world you want to experience. So the only thing you should focus on is the realm of cause. Right? The cause is the inner world. Now the effect is the outer world or the material, right? What you can see, touch, and feel. That's the outer world. Now the next point we need to talk about is self-examination. But I'm going to put self-awareness because no one likes exams. No one likes tests. Self-awareness is the next point, right? Why is this a necessary step in this process? Because you need to notice how your internal attitudes, such as fear, doubt, and confidence, are echoed in your circumstances, right? The things you hold internally in your concept of self, in your frame of awareness, are echoing in the material world. Now, echoing is a special word because energy, right, the quantum field, is this, I want you to think of it as it embodying the traits of water, right? That's why they say it starts as a wave function when it's pure energy. A wave, right? Energy is on a wave. If pure consciousness is still and we haven't conditioned it with anything, and we drop a rock in that water, we drop a rock in the water and it sends ripples, it's like a butterfly effect. The more consistently you drop fear, doubt, shame, guilt, you're starting a tsunami. How many of you guys have been in a negative state where you just felt like you just got swept off your feet by a tsunami? That's because we dropped so many negative thoughts and emotions into that consciousness. But the negative thoughts and emotions have a frequency, and that frequency is communicating with the quantum, and the quantum sending the frequency back, right? That's why the energy works in the infinity sign, right? It's the positive and negative poles. The subatomic particles have the positive and negative charges, right? It's the balance of the duality. So the energy has to go back in that equal but equitable experience, right? What's one of the laws of physics? Everything has an equal but opposite reaction. Now, if we can change what we're dropping in the water, more positive thoughts, more abundance, more willingness, more courage, you're going to create a tsunami of success. That's the secret. Gabe says, so it's staying in the higher enlightened self to realign with daily life. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. It's just living with this knowledge. This should be your devotional practice. You need to have your faith and your self-mastery taken care of before you embark to do something in the physical world. You're never going to be able to succeed in business if you do not master yourself. You have to master yourself. Because when you master yourself, you have self-respect. You can trust your word. You can trust the internal state of thoughts and emotions you have. And when you have self-respect, guess what? Metaphysics proves that we are the universe, right? The microcosm and the macrocosm, which we just talked about it. You are the universe experiencing itself. The universe is not going to respect you if you don't respect yourself. You're like, dude, you don't respect us. Why would we reshape reality for you when we can't trust you? And it all starts with the self-respect. Now, I want you to drop a 3 in the chat if you're ready to move on to the third law. Drop a 3 in the chat if you're ready to move on to the third law. How do we stop the doom scrolling? By not scrolling. Why do you think we exist? To know thyself. And it's not to know Gabe. It's not to know Grant. It's not to know Alex. It's to know thyself. The self, the unity, the all. I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's to have a grander sense of connection with the experience, to realize that we are the same, we are not different. That's why we have this experience. So we can reconnect with the truth. When we reconnect with the truth, life becomes magical. All right, we're moving on to the third law, ladies and gentlemen. So the third law is the principle of vibration. Alex says we don't work out to music, we work out to Grant. Bro, sometimes I work out to myself. I'm not even lying. Sometimes I get up here and I'm in flow state and I don't even remember some of the things I said. I'll be like, let me study the tape real quick. Gabe, life is miserable when we do it for ourselves. Life is miserable when we do it for ourselves. We're called to do something bigger, and that is to contribute to the community, to the all. So this idea is that nothing rests and everything moves, right? Everything has a resonant frequency of vibration. Now, when it comes to manifestation, what vibrates for us? Our thoughts and our emotions. And our thoughts and emotions create our electromagnetic frequency. And our electromagnetic frequency is what communicates with the pool of consciousness around us. You guys think air is nothingness? Just because we can't see it, touch, and feel it doesn't mean that it's not here. Your energetic frequency, your vibration is resonating at all times. So if you're having a bad day, but you're not saying anything, trust me, everything around you knows what's going on. Chan says I didn't even get this notification. Chance, my man, I know. We're a little off schedule, right? We've been doing the 5-day workshop, but I'm glad you made it, my friend. I'm glad you made it. Thank you, Gabe. I appreciate you. So everything has an energetic frequency. Now, your frequency is what you frequently see. Frequency is what you frequently see. Why is that so important? Because what were we just talking about? What you frequently see, that's your perception. Miss Charlotte, what did you say? You said when a tree falls in the forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? You said, no, it makes a vibration. The hearer is required to interpret a sound. Yeah, right. The eardrum is the thing that's drumming when the vibration comes in, right? Just because you think a thought and no one else can interpret it doesn't mean that the thought didn't communicate with the quantum field, right? This is why you need to become self-aware. Your perception is what you're holding internally at all times, right? Are you judging people on the street? Are you judging people because you're having a bad day? You're not viewing yourself in the highest light? That frequency is emanating at all times, which is why you have to become a master. You have to master your internal state. And the way we master our internal state is through surrendering. Like when you truly understand, when you truly come into this space and spend enough time consuming the knowledge, you realize that we are connected to the divinity. We are connected to the source. So by default, I embody the traits of the source, right? That was the law of correspondence, as above, so below. So am I going to let a negative thought? You're pretty much like saying like God is unworthy. No. The egoic self feels unworthy because it's doing it for itself. The elevated self does it for the all. Does it for the collective experience. Now, Hermeticism says that every thought and emotion carries a distinct vibration, right? And that distinct vibration is your frequency, or what you frequently see, how you observe the world. Now, Napoleon Hill notes that faith, love, or desire can raise your vibrational frequency, attracting supportive people and circumstances. Let's look at those three things: faith, love, or desire. Powerful energies. Now, how do we master the law of vibration? Ladies and gentlemen, don't worry. We're going to be back on our regular streaming schedule next week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 p.m. PST. We're going to be back. Don't you worry about it. So vibration, how do we master it? Emotional mastery. What is an emotion? It is energy in motion. Right? It's carrying a frequency. So it's energy in motion resonating at a frequency, a vibration. So we have to master the emotion. And we do this by paying attention to the feelings. And when you pay attention to the feelings, if you're having a bad day, that's okay. You don't have to stay there, though. You can focus on things you do have. Right? All right. So for the 43 of you here right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling right now? Right? Are you feeling 10? I'm on top of the world. Are you feeling 5? A little iffy today. Let me know in the chat. I want to know. I want to get a read. Let me get a read on everything. Gabe's a 10. Gabe's a 10. Alex is an 8.7. That's specific. Kelly's a 9. Vinny's a 7. Yasmin's a 9. Minsung a 2. We got to change that. Davin's a 10. Abimbola's a 7. All right. Now I want you all to do me a favor, okay? I want you to forget everything that happened today. It's just me and you right now in this community. It's just me, you, and 40 other people right here getting better. I want you to do one thing for me if you answered. Tell me 1 or 2 things you're grateful for. And if you answered below a 5, you have to tell me 2 things you're grateful for. Right now, tell me what you're grateful for. And I want it to be simple. Something that actually makes you feel gratitude. We got the gift to wake up today. Gabe said we are alive and we have a chance to learn and grow tonight. Kelly said sunshine and dogs. Vinny said my health. Gabriella said my 2 kids. Davin said my body. Miss Charlotte got a new puppy. Tell the puppy I say hi. Cliff says I have a nice apartment, right? Shelter. Letitia said, aw snap, I caught alive. Being healthy and alive, my wife and 2 dogs make me smile. You guys realize you just changed your frequency right there. We shifted your awareness onto something of a higher energetic state. The universe doesn't know if you're grateful for $1 million or you're grateful for your wife and kids. You're experiencing the frequency and vibration of gratitude. You just did all the thing the gurus talk about. You just climbed the elevated states of consciousness like that because you merely changed your frequency. Because what? Your frequency is what you frequently see. We just changed your perspective of what you see. The more consistently you can do that through repetition, you reprogram your subconscious mind. Jan says, I'm grateful for everyone that liked this chat. All right, now I ask you again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling now that we changed your frequency? On a scale of 1 to 10, let me know how you're feeling. Gabe says 11 out of 10. Alex says 1,000. Kelly, 10. Vinny, 10. I need some more. Tell me how you're feeling now. Amon says 10, to be honest. Well, I'm glad you're being honest because you're allowing yourself to change. You're allowing yourself to change your state. You guys are the creator of the experience. It's a simple shift. A simple shift. That's the magic. That's the secret sauce, ladies and gentlemen. That's the secret sauce. Now think about it. How do we experience more gratitude? If you want to build a business, go post that first social media video. Go build that website. Go build that product. Go contact that customer. And be grateful that you did it. Be grateful for the journey, not the destination. You're changing your frequency. You're becoming grateful for the things you are doing. You're being a person that is grateful because you're doing the things. You go from being to doing to having. You don't even have to worry about the have. The have is the realm of effect. We just change the realm of cause like that. Exactly, Alex. Alex is learning in real time. He's in the 5-day workshop. Alex, on a scale of 1 to 10, how good is the 5-day workshop? We're only on night 3 tonight. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good is that workshop? I want to see Alex's response. I'm putting him on the spot in front of 47 people. He said 100 out of 10. Why is it so good? What are we doing? Is it any special thing? Are we just really getting to the root? Are we just really getting to the root of the transformation? Are we really going in ascension? That's what it's all about, baby. Exactly. It's simple. It's simple. All right. Now we're going to move on to Law 4. I want you to drop a 4 in the chat if you are ready for Law 4. I got about 35 more minutes with you guys. We're going to time it perfectly. All right. This is going to be the most important law. So for the 45 of you here right now, pay attention. This is the most important law. We're on law 4. We got 44 people in the live stream right now. The numbers are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. I could do this off the top of my head. This one is the law of polarity. What is polarity, right? What's up, top floor? How's it going? All right. I want you guys to give me other examples of things that have polar scales, right? So I'm going to go first. I'm going to go cold. I'm going to go hot. What are some things that have polarity and duality? Let me know in the chat. I'm doing temperature. The one I chose is temperature. Alex said fast, slow. Exactly. Up and down. Up and down. I got to pull the live stream back up because it just went on my own YouTube video for some reason. Top floor is chilling. He's chilling. Min Sung Chun said yin and yang. That's beautiful. He actually just said the one that is the experience of all the polarities. Emotions have polarities. Exactly, Rafa. Now, what happens when we understand that the universe is polar in nature? That the dark exists so we can understand light. Right? Why do we have this polarity? We have this polarity to teach us. You need to have things that happen in life that you don't want to have, so you know what you do want to have. But because something happened in life that you don't want to have, you don't need to dwell on it. You don't need to sulk on it, because then you're just going to get stuck in the duality. You're going to get stuck in this back and forth game of good and bad and black and white and God and the devil and life and death. How many of you guys are crazy when you're going back and forth like that? When you don't know what's good or bad. Am I a good person? Am I a bad person? Am I working hard or am I lazy? How many of you guys have actually experienced some sense of craziness when you're just playing this game of duality? Yes, Kelly, you become very unstable. You become very unstable. Now, when you understand that life is just like this in general and you do not have to feed the energy, you're no longer stuck on this plane, right? Now, I want you to understand that you can transmutate setbacks into stepping stones. Things that you have identified as bad are actually good. When I went $80,000 in debt, I thought it was the worst thing that ever happened to me. Now it's the best thing that ever happened to me because it taught me everything I needed to know about business. Exactly. So we can have experience to get out of the darkness. Now, for the 53 of you here right now, if you guys want me to talk to you every day, right? I don't make YouTube videos every day, but if you want to practice this stuff in everyday life, I created a free Telegram chat. And I'm literally just going to send daily frequency and alignment reminders. I'm about to be like, hey guys, slow down. Are you feeding a subconscious program? Or are you consciously choosing your reality? So if you guys want to join that, go click the link. It's pinned in the stream. It's in the description. But I just put that together because I want to be of service to you all. Now, reframing things is so important because you can allow these things you identified as setbacks and negative to thrust you and pivot yourself into growth, right? We also have emotional balancing, right? The balance. If you're discouraged, understand that the opposite, right? Motivation and hope is also within reach. It's on the same spectrum, just the other side. And it's not far away. That's why we just did that gratitude exercise, because I showed you, you can change that in a minute. It's just a shift in perspective away. It's that simple. You just change what you focus on. Right, here's Here's the temperature spectrum of manifestation, right? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you guys have a desire. Drop a 1 in the chat if you have a desire and something you want to manifest. Let me know. Let me get some water. Everyone's got something they want to change. Now, you guys ready for me to show you the spectrum? All right, you guys got a desire, right? Here's the spectrum of polarity for it. Here's the difference. When you have a desire, you're signaling it's not in your reach. So you're swimming upstream. You're working against the energy because you're signaling to the universe, you do not have it because I desire it. I need this. When you allow the universe to bring to you what's yours. What does that feel like? Does that feel like flow? Does that feel like allowing? Here, you're swimming downstream. This is the difference. This is why some people manifest effortlessly and some people have to force it and grind their way. Grind. This is misalignment because you don't understand that you already have what you're looking for. And when you're swimming downstream, it's naturally flowing to you. You're just going with the energy. You're in alignment. Things start flowing, the universal harmony. Boom, magic. It's that simple. You said, quick question, does that mean we shouldn't exhibit excitement when we get to our desired reality? I don't think you should let it be the thing to throw you out of whack, right? If you're living for the mountain peak, if you're living to get to the top, that's where you hit a ceiling and you self-sabotage. I've done it multiple times. I wanted to build a successful e-commerce business, built a $500,000 e-commerce business. When I got there, I started partying. I thought I was him. I thought I was that guy. But I realized the thing that got me there was the daily disciplines. It was the inputs, not the outputs. When I started focusing too much on the outputs, life started to take things away from me and I started chasing. Because I thought, oh, I can party now. Woo. No, life just took it away from me because I wasn't doing the things. My internal state changed and it stripped me from that. So I would say be grateful. Be grateful things happen, but don't let them change your internal state. I'm telling you, you guys should just stay focused on this. All this information that I talk about on my channel should be the one thing you focus on all the time. Then you're not going to have an expectation for life. And then you're going to be blessed in ways you couldn't even fathom. Right? Now, this fifth law is going to make sense as to why I talked about this. We got the law of rhythm. We got the law of rhythm. What is the law of rhythm? Rhythm is ebbs and flows. I want you to think about the ocean for me, right? I want you to think about waves. They crash out onto shore. Do they stay out on shore? No, they always come back. I want you to think about the sun. It rises. Do we have the sun out 24/7? No, it sets. The law of rhythm is a natural law of nature. So even in life, if you have something good going, you're riding a good wave. You're riding a good wave. Oh yeah, life's so good, life's so good. But if you're living for the outcome and if you think your identity is attached to that good thing, as soon as the tides turn back, you're going to spiral. You're going to get depressed. You're going to feel like you're not worthy. I've done this. I'm telling you guys from experience. But if you just realize that life just happens like this, right? If you're in a low point right now, I want you to embrace the low point because it's part of the process, right? The low point. Then just come back so you can recollect and move forward. It's not a final defeat. It's not a final destination, right? Now, Napoleon Hill's research showed that successful people persist through the downturns until the upswing. So if you want to survive the rhythms, then you have to just ride the waves. You need to realize that it's going to be like this. Exactly, Letitia. What goes down must come back up. It's the law of the universe, ladies and gentlemen. It's really the fifth law of the universe. But if you're grateful for the highs and you're grateful for the lows, guess what? You're grateful 24/7% of the time. 24/7. So 100% of the time. This is the secret. Because the external world has ebbs and flows, guess what you can have on the internal state? You can have pure presence, pure peace, pure gratitude, because you're not identifying with the external experience. You actually have an internal state of wisdom. Oh, it's already on there. That's emotional equanimity. That was the next point, but I just kind of naturally flowed into it. You can maintain calm when times are tough and humility when times are riding high. Letitia says, I always say when it looks like a war zone around me, a manifestation must be coming in. Exactly, right? When you're losing a bunch of things, that's because you're making room for what's yours to come. You just can't hold on to those things. You can't be running into a door that's closed, or else you're just going to miss the door that's open. That's the ebb and flow. All right? We're moving on to the sixth law. Justin. They always come back. Some may say I'm magnetic. Some may say I'm magnetic. It's cause and effect, right? This is the idea that nothing happens by chance. It is all governed by cause and effect. Your dominant thoughts and purposeful actions lead to tangible results over time. Inputs equal outputs, right? But I'm going to give you a little energetic breakdown right now as to how this actually works. So everyone thinks cause and effect is if I do A, then I'll get B, then I'll get C, then I'll get D. Doesn't that look like cause and effect? Wrong. That was Descartes and Newton. Right, that was an old mechanistic view of the universe. This is what it really is. Quantum physics. Everything is pure energy, 99.9% energy. And we have a spectrum, which Dr. David R. Hawkins found measurements for. Right, so down here is fear. Up here is enlightenment. Up here is joy. So what cause and effect is whatever frequency you're holding, like let's say you're joyful all the time. It's just your natural state. You're going to communicate that to the quantum. The quantum is going to give that back to you in everything. This is why you only have to focus on one thing. Internal mastery. This is why I tell people this information is the universal key that unlocks all locks. Now, if you just become aware, if you're fearful, you're planting the quantum field with fear. So you're just going to get more of that experience back to you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to drop a 6 if this is making sense. Drop a 6 if this is making sense in the chat for me. I want you to drop a 5.5 if you're like, Grant, I need you to break it down a little for me. Break it down a little for me. Oh yeah, the 6 is making sense. Oh yeah. All right, we're moving on to law 7, and then I need to take a little 10-minute break before I move on to my 2-hour call with the workshop community. All right, you know what, guys? With my time, I'm going to give you the hidden principle. This is going to be a good one to end it on. Yes, these are the Hermetic principles. But there's an 8th hidden principle. Now, in the Bible, they talk about Genesis. Does anyone know the hidden principle? There's 43 of you here right now. What am I about to talk about right now? I'm curious. 45 of you. Does anyone know what this hidden principle is that talks about Genesis? Right? In Freemasonry, that's why there's a 33rd degree. We got no idea. All right. Now, the Freemasonry logo is this. It's a G. Why is it a G? Guess what capital G is in numerology, in gematria, right? If lowercase a is 1 and capital A is 27, then if we go to capital G, what is it? It's 33. It is the first letter for Grant. But there's a reason that the 33rd degree Freemasons achieved enlightenment. And what was the final thing they came to understand? What was the final thing they came to understand? The final piece of knowledge that they were given? Genesis is the act of creation, right? But what they told you was that you embody the traits of the architect. That's what they'd call God, right? They call God the architect. So the one thing I want to leave you guys with is you are the creator of your reality. This is the highest form of wisdom in the universe. And thanks to the internet, I get to share this with you on a whiteboard. But it is the idea that you control your experience. And you control your experience through internal self-mastery. Because what is internal self-mastery? When you understand internal self-mastery, you are mastering the self. And because there is no separation, Preston, because you understand that there is no separation between you and the Creator, right? The unity, man was created in the image of God. When you master yourself, you master the all. You control your internal state with self-mastery. And when you control your internal state of self-mastery, you control your reality. You control how you respond to negative things. You control the actions you take. You control how you show up as a brother, as a wife, as a son, as a partner. And it's because you've regulated your internal state. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I will leave you with. The power was within you all along. Never forget that. You have the power to change. So take your power back. Take the power back from the people who wronged you. Take your power back from the external circumstances that you think define you. And realize you are the creator. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I bring a close to this live stream. It was an absolute pleasure. We will be back to our regular streaming schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 p.m. PST, starting next week. I would love to see you all there. Much love, always. If you guys want to study up more on this, I just dropped a YouTube video today, so go check that out. And make sure to click the link if you want to be a part of the community. If you want to be part of this free community where we talk about this information all the time, and I help you reclaim your power as a creator and remain in alignment, go check it out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, nothing but blessings for you, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.